Hi, I'm Troy Suttle with Immersive Technologies, and today we're going to talk about how to use the Solstice conference capability in your room with Zoom running on a user laptop to deliver a new class of bring your own meeting room system. And as we'll see in the demo, this type of room system has some advantages over traditional Zoom rooms systems. So I walk in, I'm a meeting host, I want to have a meeting with a combination of people in the room and remote participants, and so I've set up a Zoom meeting ahead of time. Now in the space itself, in the room, we've got a Solstice pod that's connected to the display by HDMI, as well as connected to the room audio and video device by USB. And then lastly, the Solstice pod is also attached to the local Wi-Fi and Ethernet network, as is my device here. So we're both on the room Wi-Fi. So when I walk in as a user, all I need to do to get the meeting started is enter the 4-digit screen key on the Solstice display on my device. Now, I already have the Solstice application installed, and so I can just click the Solstice icon in the system tray, enter the screen key, and Solstice will take care of the rest. It connects all the technology and starts the meeting. For users that don't have the application installed, they'll need to install the application first, and they can do so in one of two ways. They can either go to immersive.com/download, or they can follow the instructions on the welcome screen to get the app. For administrators, we also have the ability for the IT team to push out the application to all your enterprise users and manage the Solstice client from the IT side. That capability is also available from immersive.com/download. So I've walked into the room, I've got my Solstice app installed, and I'm ready to start this meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the screen key. So I've entered the screen key by clicking the Solstice icon in the system tray, and Solstice is now starting the meeting for me and connecting all the technology. Specifically, Solstice has found the calendar invite and clicked on the link, the Zoom meeting link in my calendar invite to start that Zoom meeting. It looks like Kira's joined us. Additionally, Solstice has auto-shared my laptop desktop to the room display. And lastly, Solstice has given me access from my laptop to the audio and video in the room. So wirelessly, I'm connected to that audio and video device. And now, as a user, it's a normal Zoom meeting. I see the Zoom UI, I see my remote participants that have joined by Zoom, and I can do all my normal Zoom things, such as sharing content. So if I want to share some content in the meeting, there's one important thing to note here. As the meeting host, I should share screen 2, and what that does is that shares the room display out to the remote participants, not just my desktop. So I'll go ahead and do that. And maybe to start the meeting, I've got a few slides that we want to look at. So I'm going through these slides, and the remote participants are seeing and hearing everything that's happening in the room as if they were here. Now what gets interesting is Solstice has always allowed multiple users to share content into a meeting. So say there's another user that has walked in with their phone, and they have some images that maybe they want to share from a recent trade show, a recent car expo that they thought would be interesting for this meeting. They can connect by Solstice and do that from their device. So I'll share a couple additional images from this phone. And with Solstice, all of this is now being shared out to the remote participant. So we've got 3 content sources from multiple users being shared into the session. And for the first time ever, the remote participant can see all of these content sources at once. And of course, Solstice doesn't stop there. Solstice will allow you to arrange the content, maybe focus on something for a moment, zoom in on it, put it back in place, or even delete content. So we'll get rid of that image maybe. And for mobile devices, Solstice also allows you to mark up content. So I can say, let's really focus our attention on this side of the screen for a moment, please. Or maybe it's over here that we need to look now. So I can ask the meeting participants to focus on the right side. All of that collaborative content sharing, control, and markup is visible not only to users in the room, but also to the remote users. So it's a new level of engagement and collaboration through conferencing, And it's coming at a time when conferencing fatigue is at an all-time high. So we think it's pretty powerful. So that's a quick demo of how to use Solstice with Zoom running on a user's laptop to level the playing field between on-site and remote collaboration. The last piece of this demo, to end the meeting, it's exactly what you might suspect. You just end the meeting in Zoom and then disconnect from the display once you're done discussing any kind of after-meeting topics in the room. And then the other user would also disconnect from their device as well. So this has been a fast demo on how to use Solstice with Zoom. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are some key advantages that are worth mentioning. Firstly, we looked at how to use Solstice with Zoom today, but Solstice isn't limited to Zoom. It's actually agnostic to all the major conferencing services. So Microsoft Teams, WebEx, and others can be used in a very similar way with Solstice. It's also more collaborative, as we talked about, than traditional conferencing. It allows more users to participate and engage simultaneously, and it delivers a richer experience for remote participants as well. And then lastly, Solstice is a completely touchless solution. I, as a user, engage all of the room technology through my device. There's no shared room tablet or control panel. So it's more hygienic, but it also allows Solstice to be offered at a more affordable price point, and therefore it can be scaled to more rooms than kind of the traditional room systems out there. So thank you for joining us today. This has been a quick overview of how to use Solstice with Zoom. To learn more, visit mersive.com/conference.